Hello, dear friends, and welcome to the What is the Truth channel. Today we're bringing you a remarkable theme, one that is extremely important and necessary, and it is how to identify the false gospel. How to identify the false gospel in a plural world filled with many ideas and with a polyphony of voices. Because wherever you go, you come across people with their Bibles open, teaching about God, about man, the human race, about salvation, about the fate of humanity, speaking about themes that are so important and precious, not only to our Christian experience, but also to our Christian development and growth. In order to talk about this, we at least must have a hermeneutic tool for interpretation so you can discern between the true gospel and the false gospel according to the man. Come with me because today I want to deliver you a key so that never again we are deceived. If you are not subscribed to this channel, please subscribe, activate the notifications, and don't forget to leave your comments below. This is a What is the Truth channel. I am Alexandre Rodrigues, a mere mortal, eternally in search of the truth. Very well, dear friends, how to identify the false gospel. This is not a simple task, but with a key I'm going to hand you today, everything will be much easier. And I just ask you to follow me in my thinking. And I need you also to have an active posture so that you can accompany and follow up each of my words and ideas. Initially here in the Gospel of John in chapter 3 from verse 30. I will read with you the text from verse 30 to 34, and then I will extract the main ideas that will forge, that will configure the key of interpretation. It says, "He must become greater, I must become less. The one who comes from above is above all. The one who is from the earth belongs to the earth and speaks as one from the earth. The one who comes from heaven is above all. He testifies to what he has seen and heard, but no one accepts his testimony. Whoever has accepted has certified that God is truthful. For the one whom God has sent speaks the word of God, for God gives the Spirit without limit." Please follow me in these assumptions that we will extract. First, we have the verse 30. He must become greater, I must become less. How to understand this? You see that the text here has a context, and the context is John Baptist is being inquired here. They are saying, John, the one who you have baptized has now multitudes following him, and there are fewer people following you. So Baptist says, he must become greater, I must become less. So he recognizes the historical importance of the manifestation of the Son of God to the man. So John the Baptist was the greatest of the prophets among men. This is what Jesus testifies when he says that out of the men that were born of women, he is the greatest of them. Now he recognizes that Jesus is above all. That's why he keeps on saying, the one who comes from above is above all. The one who is from the earth belongs to the earth and speaks as one from the earth. This is the key point that you have to write down. John the Baptist says there were many sent by God along history. Many prophets were sent by God that spoke from God. However, John the Baptist says that all of them came from the earth. So the point of view of each of these prophets was the earth. That is, they were totally limited by their earthly language and earthly vision because they were stuck in a culture, in a time, but the Christ of God instead comes from heaven. And here we have two meanings. First, he comes from the Father. In this same chapter, we read that nobody has ever gone up to heaven. So, although Moses spoke from God, he has never been with God. He does not know God in a sense. All that he had were insights. But on the other hand, the one who comes from heaven comes from the Father, the heart of the Father. As we read in John chapter 1:18, the one and only Son who is himself God and is in closest relationship with the Father has made it known. So the one who is able to speak about the Father is the one who came from the Father and the one who came from heaven. That is, the one who is greater than all, as John the Baptist says. So he keeps on saying in verse 34 that the one who God has sent speaks the words of God, for God gives the Spirit without limit. And here we have another very important detail. Jesus did not receive from the Father the Spirit with a limit. Jesus has the fullness of the Spirit of revelation. He has all the comprehension and understanding of the truth, as Paul will say to the Colossians, that in him all the rich knowledge and divine truth dwells in him. So, if you compare Jesus to the other prophets, to the other people who were sent by God, we're going to see that they received measures. So they had impressions, insights. So the way they spoke and even the content that they shared cannot translate the truth of what God is. That's why it is said that Jesus has the fullness of the revelation of the Spirit, is the accurate expression of the Father. So he shows precisely what the Father is, as we read in John 14. Anyone who has seen me has seen the Father. So as the truth is found exclusively in the person of Jesus, in his works and in his teachings. So you might ask me, how can I, from this understanding, get the key, the hermeneutic key to interpret everything and identify the false gospel? It's very simple. Whenever you watch a sermon or read a book or whatever, whenever you come across people talking about God, about God's will, about the way that he saves humanity, about the way that he's going to finish his work, you have to ask yourself, is this way of speaking according to the Spirit of Christ, according to the Spirit of the Gospel, according to the essence of Jesus, that is the full truth revealed to man? Everything that goes beyond or diminish the Spirit of Christ is certainly not the true gospel. You are going to use the person of Jesus and Christ's teachings and messages as a ruler to measure and identify if that message or that book written correspond or not to the true gospel of Jesus. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe, activate the notifications, and leave your comment below. This was one more video, and see you next time.